Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents The Science of Gardening, written and read by Dr. Stuart Farrimond. Introduction. It's taken me 40 years to discover the joy of gardening. Not since sowing a handful of cress seeds into a compost-filled plastic cup at the age of 6 had I felt the thrill of seeing perfectly formed green life emerge from brown dirt. But my adult hands, softened from years of tapped keys and pushed pencils, had once again made this miracle happen on a kitchen windowsill. It didn't matter that only 3 of my 30 Brussels sprout seeds made it, and that their crop was tiny. A gate had been opened into my heart and mind into a world I was keen to explore. Gardening is the perfect antidote to doom scrolling through today's news. It reconnects us with the perpetual cycle of life, death, and renewal of which we are all a part. In fact, I can think of no other pursuit that offers more. Whether you have a balcony or a small holding, growing plants allows you to be a designer, sculptor, artist, wonder-struck child, and inquisitive scientist with ever more to learn. And yet for something as beautifully simple as sowing, planting, and watering, we humans have made gardening terribly complicated. Trained as a medical doctor, I know only too well how to bamboozle others with technical terms. And now, as a gardener, I was being befuddled by a forest of gobbledygook and strange rituals. What is a perennial? What on earth is mulching? Why mustn't I water plants in the middle of the day? Our adult egos make us embarrassed to ask. But old handle rookie, I'm willing to wager you've been confused by Latin names, a mysterious term, or perhaps wondered whether you really need to put Crocs in the bottom of your plant pots. Most gardening books and websites are missing a trick. They explain the hows of growing and plant care without even touching on the whys. As a man of science whose passion is to demystify and debunk, I've taken delight in using science and the latest research to answer key gardening questions and reveal why some age-old practices belong in the past. In the book that follows, I will reveal to you the science behind the how when caring for plants, and hope that informs and inspires your gardening in the same way it has mine. Before we start, here's a reminder of some terms that come up often in this book. Annual. These are plants that germinate, grow, reproduce, and die in one calendar year. This live fast and die young strategy evolved to take advantage of short growing seasons in inhospitable places. Biennial, meaning every 2 years, flower in their second growing season and then they die. The first growing season is used to build up the resources needed to flower and produce seeds. Perennial. Around 90% of all plants are perennial, the word means through the year, which do not die after flowering and can live for many years, sometimes indefinitely. Deciduous. These are perennial plants that deliberately dump their leaves in autumn to reduce energy loss and risk of damage to the plant during winter. Evergreen. These are plants that keep their leaves throughout the year, not to be confused with conifers, which are cone-bearing plants that sometimes lose their leaves. Herbaceous. This is the definition of soft stem plants with no woody tissue. Because wood takes time to build, all annuals and biennials are herbaceous, but many perennials are too. Woody. Plants with stiff, bark-covered stems which support new growth year after year. It is made from compressed plant fibers called cellulose, held together by a powerful glue called lignin. All woody plants are perennial. Part 1. Wonder of Gardening. How amazing are plants? Here are just a few of the remarkable ways in which plants have evolved to survive and thrive, making their own food, duping animals into transporting their pollen, and regenerating parts that have been eaten. Plants give us every breath of oxygen that fills our lungs, make their own food out of thin air in a process called photosynthesis, and are the original source of every mouthful we eat. They are the linchpin of all life.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?